I've been away in Europe for 4 weeks and I've come home to this. I'm also literally moving house now, but there was no way that I was opening these without you guys. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Cameron. This is Slacky Book Club. I chat about literary fiction, mostly a little bit of nonfiction sometimes, and whatever else I want. Thank you so much for being here. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. And let's jump into the video. Now, as I've said in the past, I don't accept unsolicited book mail from publishers anymore. That's why this stack is what could be considered small for somebody who is a full-time bookish content creator. I can only imagine how many books would have piled up if I was accepting unsolicited book mail. That is kind of terrifying, and I'm very glad that I have reached out to publishers and said, hey, email me first, check if it's something I'm interested in. So these are supposedly all books that I have approved, that I have said, yes, that would be great. Thank you so much. I would love a copy of that. But I am like probably the most forgetful, non-ADHD suffering person that you'll ever meet. So I actually couldn't tell you what is in any of these. I don't remember. So we're going to open them together and it's all going to be a surprise, and it's essentially going to be like, it is unsolicited book mail, which is great. It's great fun for me and it's great fun for you. Now, hopefully the audio stays fine with my microphone here. We are going to rip straight in to the first one, and this is from Penguin. There are actually quite a few packages here. Bit of ASMR for you. Quite a few packages here from Penguin, so that's really exciting, but we're gonna see what's in this one. I do love these boxes. It's always so satisfying, just unfolding. Ooh, is that upside down? I feel like it's gonna go this way. The Island of Last Nights. Okay, so I've literally never seen this before in my life, but that is sexy. First thoughts, incredible cover. And I'm not mad that this is unsolicited because this is very much a bit of me. And look, again, forgetful. I cannot say with 100% certainty that this is unsolicited. I very much could have said yes, please. I don't remember. But I really have, this isn't like sparking oh yeah, I remember getting an email about that, you know? So anyways, stunning, gorgeous. Let's have a little read. What is this? Camille is a keeper at the last zoo in the world on Alcatraz Island. She is reserved around humans and happy to spend her days caring for chimpanzees and tree frogs and a magnificent, restless jaguar, while outside nature crumbles. Oh, it's giving slightly dystopian, perhaps. The world is ending. I like it, I like it. Resistance groups and brutal cartels are fighting to shape the world's future, but Camille is safe within her routines. Then a new zookeeper, Sailor. What gender is Sailor? What gender is Sailor? Glamorous and reckless, she seems to see something in Camille that no one has before. Okay, so it's giving sapphic, propulsive, and fiercely hopeful with a heart-stopping final twist. The Island of Last Things is an elegy for a disappearing world and a gorgeous vision for the future. This sounds insane. We are off to such a strong start. Now, I'm really curious, is this a debut? Emma Slowly? Cool, if that's how you pronounce it. I love that name. I have not heard it before, though. She began her career as a features editor at Harper's Bazaar, Australia. Oh my God, text publishing. Oh, this is Melburnian. Okay, stop right now. She's based in New York. She has published fiction, short fiction, and creative nonfiction in publications. Oh, okay, she's the author of Disaster's Children. So this must be her second book. Very keen. Have not heard of this before, but I am loving this cover design, and the blurb sounds absolutely freaking insane. And I feel like this could be very dark and sexy and fun. On to the next. This one is from University of Queensland Press. Now, surely I okayed this. Oh, cute. Look at the way it's all wrapped up. Oh my goodness. Okay, we've got some little postcards. Oh, they're stuck down with the sticker. Okay. The unseeing sees nothing, knows everything. Okay, it's giving horror. Oh, Dead Ends by Samantha Byers. Wait, I've seen that. I have seen that. I don't know what's happening here. Cameron, we have a letter. I hope you'll forgive me for adding another book to your endless stack. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see. I just felt like you'd really like this one. I hope I'm right. Okay, Sarah. Okay, Sarah. Well, I guess we'll have to see, won't we? Okay, it's Dead Ends. And again, I've seen this. And so I feel like I've taken note of it as something that I am interested in. Look, Hayley Scrivener, who is a Melburnian crime writer, describes it as a queer, dark, funny, and somehow ultimately life-affirming story, which sounds fantabulous. Nights like this, I get to thinking I'm at the last stop in a line of increasingly dire last stops. All-round chaos merchant Nell Jenkins has returned. I've read a book where the protagonist was called Nell before. She's returned to her hometown to fulfill family duties for the mother and brother she's barely seen since she escaped as a teen, but her homecoming isn't the triumph it should be. She has nothing to show for her time in Sydney, but a string of failed relationships and an ongoing HR complaint against her ex-girlfriend, now former boss. Setting right back into old habits, Nell finds herself sparking a relationship with her dead best friend's brother, Mick, as well as with the newly arrived and equally unreliable Katya, who's working for the once famous TV psychic Petronella Bush. Okay, yeah, it's giving chaotic. Driven by her lust for Katya, an empty bank account, and the need to come to terms with 2 life-defining deaths from her past, Nell is drawn into Petronella's charismatic web. Okay, I'm sold on a lot of aspects here. I'm obviously sold on the sapphic element. I'm obviously sold on the fact that it's set in Australia. But the psychic? The fact that there's a psychic in this story? I love a bit of woo-woo. I love some woo-woo, so that is gonna grip me. That's gonna have me intrigued. And it's been a while, I think, since I read a story about somebody cracking on in the wake of grief. And thinking back to the books that I have read that are about somebody cracking on in the wake of grief, books like You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty, books like New Animal by Ella Baxter, I've loved them. Sunbathing. You know, those stories always strike a chord with me. So I have a good feeling about this. Sarah, I think you might be onto something. I will forgive you. Next package is from Walker Books. Now, this will be the second book I've ever received from Walker. Walker are actually a children's book publisher, and they are publishing Caroline O'Donoghue's next book, which is called Skip Shock. It's called Skip Shock, and I read it a couple months ago and it's fabulous. But that's how I now have a connection with Walker Books, a children's book publisher, because Skip Shock is a YA novel. So I'm very curious to see what's inside here. I see a map. I thought it might be. I think this is the final copy of Skip Shock. In fact, it has to be because, they took Booksmart's. Oh my God. Okay, so Booksmart is a bookstagrammer who I followed for a very long time, and they post very thorough, very well-written, very considered, beautiful reviews, and posted a review of Skip Shock that Caroline was so obsessed with, and it is a great review, like deserves all the hype. But now a little extract from it is on this sticker here, which is so lovely to see. We have the final copy. It's so pretty. It's so good looking. I loved this book, actually. Like, I felt like I was being transported back to my teenage self, who was reading all of the Divergence, the Hunger Games, the Maze Runners, you know, all of those sort of slightly dystopian, slightly sci-fi YA stories. I used to love them, and there was something so like exciting and nourishing about them. And I think the fact that not only were they, you know, exciting sci-fi dystopian stories, not only were they a little bit of a romance that was spicy and sort of will they, won't they, kept you hooked, but also the fact that they all had this sort of political undertone. Like they all were essentially like real political commentary on shit that actually is going on in the world. And it always felt as a teenager that like you were being trusted with some like mature themes and like mature intellect. And reading this as an adult reminded me of that feeling because Caroline has trusted her YA readership to be smart enough to understand the themes in this book. And it's really, I just love it when adults don't underestimate teenagers. This one is a box. And boxes are exciting because sometimes boxes have multiple books and sometimes boxes have like goodies, but I'm gonna need scissors. Okay, back with scissors. Yeah, boxes often suggest like PR package, you know, with some little like bookmarks and stickers and gifty bits in, but it's not giving multiple items audibly. So we'll see. I think it's one single book and that's okay. Oh, it's a big chunky guy though. So we needed the room. Rebel Warrior Survivor Boudica's Daughter? Boudica's Daughter. By Elodie Harper. Why do I recognize the name Elodie Harper? No idea. I don't recognize any of those books. Moving on. So this is the dazzling standalone novel from the author of the best-selling Wolf Den trilogy, which it's giving fantasy a little. The Wolf Den trilogy definitely sounds fantastical. We've got like a warrior situation happening here. This is unsolicited. I hate to say I wouldn't have said yes to this, but let's see what's happening here. Boudica? Is that how you say it? Boudica. Famous warrior, queen of the British Iceni tribe, and mastermind of one of history's greatest revolts. Her defeat spelled ruin for her people, and yet still her name is enough to strike fear into Roman hearts. But what of the woman who grew up in her shadow? The woman who has her mother's look and cunning, but a spirit all of her own. The woman whose desperate bid for survival will take her from Britain's sacred marshlands to the glittering facades of Nero's Roman Empire. Born to a legend, forced to fight, determined to succeed. Meet Solina, Boudica's daughter. Interesting. Apparently Boudica was a real person, a real rebel, queen, warrior, soldier woman, and there's a statue of her in London, apparently. And Elodie, the author of this book, is fascinated by not only the statue and the story of Boudica herself, but of the two young women that are also featured on the statue who are apparently Boudica's daughters, which historically, like, we don't know anything about them or what their life was like. And so this is Elodie imagining what it might have been like to be Boudica's daughter. Second last from New South Books. Now, New South Books, despite being such like a small publisher, always come through with bangers. Always come through with hits. And often I'll receive a book from New South and I'll be like, what is that? I've literally never seen that. And then it is like a 10 out of 10. So I'm very excited to see what is in here. No, because I already have this. Oh no, you silly billies. I already have this because when they sent out their newsletter like months ago and this was in it, I was like, that sounds great. Can I have one? And they sent me one and it's sitting on my TBR shelf. So, oops, maybe I should do a giveaway. Does anybody want a copy of Ignorance and Bliss? on Wanting to Not Know by Mark Lilla. I just felt like I requested this because I feel like it really resonates. Like, I often feel like very much ignorance is bliss. Let me know nothing. Let me be ignorant. Obviously, like, not ideal, not recommended, bit of a privilege. But like, how can you dispute that ignorance is not bliss? So let me tell you a little bit about this book, since it's one that I am deeply interested in and excited to pick up. And now that I have a second copy, tell me if you want me to do a giveaway, because that could be fun. I can't let this go to waste. So, Ignorance and Bliss on Wanting Not to Know by Mark Lilla goes as such. Aristotle claimed that all human beings want to know, yet we also want not to know. Centuries after the Enlightenment, mesmerized crowds still follow preposterous prophets. Irrational rumors trigger fanatical acts, and magical thinking crowds out common sense and expertise. Where does this will to ignorance originate, and how does it shape our lives today? This is my kind of, when I say that I sometimes like to read a little bit of like psychology, philosophy type musings, this is that kind of vibe. Like, I don't mean self-help, I don't mean like deep philosophy, I mean like modern musings along these kinds of lines. So yeah, I'm curious. If anybody else is interested, let me know if you want me to do a giveaway, because what else am I to do with my extra copy? Okay, finally, we've got this big chunky boy, and it does feel as though there are multiple books happening in here. Now, this is from, I don't know because I ripped the tag off. It's DHL, so it's giving US. Yeah, we'll just have to see, won't we? We'll just have to, I think there's 4 books in here, you guys. Oh my God. Okay, all right. Kakigori Summer by Emily Itami. Oh, is this that? Yeah, it's Mariner. Okay, Mariner have done this to me before. Mariner sent me 4 books of like the summer or whatever, because it's American. And I didn't love any of them, but open mind. All right, let's go. This is sexy, laugh out loud, funny, and full of prose as sumptuous as the meals described. Ooh, sexy food writing. Okay, maybe I'm hooked. Maybe I'm in. A wry and tender novel from the author of Fault Lines. I've heard of Fault Lines. About 3 very different sisters. The sisters trope. I'm struggling with the sisters trope, but reunited in adulthood for one short summer. Yeah, for readers of Hello Beautiful and Blue Sisters. The very different sisters reuniting trope is, yeah, I don't know. But food writing, it does sound quite good. I will give this one a go. Also, like, just a stunningly beautiful cover happening here. If you liked Blue Sisters, this sounds exactly the same. Next. The Float Test, a novel by Lynn Steger Strong, the author of Flight. Oh. Let's just take a moment to... Can y'all see the state of these edges? Like, they forgot to clean up those edges at the printing press. Anyways. Okay, so it's very much one of those sort of American family stories that I admittedly like haven't read. I haven't read any of them. It's compared to The Dutch House and The Most Fun We Ever Had. I'm just not sure that I care about like American middle class white families in Florida keeping secrets from each other. Okay. Ooh, colorful. Whoa, colorful. Wait, take another look. Hi. Archive of Unknown Universes by Ruben Reyes Jr. Again with the, like, unfinished edges. What's happening, you guys? Okay, following two families in alternative timelines of the Salvadorian Civil War, a stunning exploration of the mechanisms of fate, the gravity of the past, and the endurance of love. Ruben Reyes Jr.'s debut novel is an epic genre-bending journey through inverted worlds, one where war ends with a peace treaty and one where it ends with a decisive victory by the Salvadorian government. What unfolds is a stunning story of displacement and belonging, of loss and love. It's both a daring imagining of what might have been and a powerful reckoning of our past. That is a stunning cover. Absolutely gorgeous. And finally, you guys, and what I will say before I open this book is that I did remember in the process of filming this video that there was at least one book that I was emailed about. Yeah, funny that. Literally none of these, as far as I remember, are books that I was emailed about and asked if I wanted. And I've definitely been emailed about books and said yes, please, to a few. Namely, Miranda Cowley Heller's upcoming poetry collection. Where's that at? So yeah, this is very interesting to have gone into this video. Like, I don't accept unsolicited book mail. Everything I get sent is like pre-approved. I always get emailed first. Hello? Anyways. Ooh. That's freaky as Shop Girls, a novel by Jessica Anya Blau, the author of Mary Jane. A delightful and heartfelt novel of found family growing up and the best and worst of the 80s, set in San Francisco's most exclusive department store. Okay, this sounds like it could be fun. It's about a 19-year-old girl called Zippy, who gets a job at San Francisco's finest department store. And it's just like a bit of gossip and like coming of age in the 80s in a department store. And the girly pup's figuring it out, I guess. And then just when Zippy thinks she's getting a handle on how to be an adult woman in 1985, two life-altering events threaten both her sense of self and her coveted position at the department store. This could be fun. This could be a bit fun and colorful. We shall see. Well, this has been very interesting. Started super strong. Let me know what books stood out to you guys and which book I should start with. What should I read first? I feel like I knew the answer to that, but maybe you guys have more information than me and you can give me a different suggestion. We'll see. We'll, yeah. Don't think that I am not appreciative for all of this. This is crazy. I get sent free shit. Oh my God. Obviously, it's insane that that's my life. I just feel very conscious of the fact that, like, if I'm getting sent books that objectively I just would never buy for myself, I'm not interested in, it feels wasteful. And I want to reduce waste as much as possible, you know? So that's where we're coming from. That's where we're at. But some of these sound really fantastic. So I'm excited to read them. Tell me which ones you're excited to read. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.